Right, so we're now in Banff National Park. I've always wanted to be here, so I'm happy to be here. This is the town of Banff itself. It's a lot bigger than I expected. We just had some brunch, and now we're gonna drive out of town and do a little walk around a lake. We're now hiking the perimeter of Two Jack Lake. Oddly enough, it kind of spills into another lake, so it's really one big lake. But this section of it here is called Two Jack. Our campsite is right near here. And this place is supposed to be one of the more underrated spots in Banff, and supposed to have really good views. We haven't seen views from all angles yet, but so far pretty nice. That's what it looks like down that way. Looks like we're about halfway around the lake. You can see down here is the parking lot. That's where we started from.
The water here is so pretty. It's like this turquoise color. The air is fresh. It's divine.
We're now hiking on the Hoodoos Trail here in Banff. We're just about 5 minutes in, and this is our view. And just over here to the right is this view.
We're probably about a mile and a half in, and we finally reached the Bow River. Now it's on camera. Throw it, Cheeks.
All right!
Good job.
I'm so proud of us. So we're thirsty, and there's a river here, and we're assuming it's glacial waters. It tastes fresh. It tastes really good. But I mean, sometimes you can't taste like chemical microbes. So here's hoping.
You just kind of get the sense around here.
Right.
It's pretty safe to drink. Maybe not the most brightest thing we've ever done.
There's my summer home.
So we hiked all the way to the end of the trail. We didn't want to hike back, so now we're taking the bus back to our car. It actually worked out rather well. The bus goes, we did have to transfer, but the bus goes right from the end of the trail back to where the car is. We didn't intend on that, but here we are.
Alright, so we just got off the bus and we went to our car, and this is the first stop. This is called the Hoodoos. It's a rock structure that did not get eroded away by the glaciers. The description was that it would look like Cappadocia in Turkey, and it does, but on a much smaller scale. That's my number one place that I want to go to, so I was really excited to see this, and it's pretty.
The view is much better than the Hoodoos themselves. It's kind of the same view we were looking at on the hike, although this is a little bit better, in my opinion anyway. And over here, way off in the distance, as you can see that hotel that we ended our hike at. So that's the distance that we hiked right there.
We have a full rainbow here, and then we have a second rainbow on top. How pretty. A full-on double rainbow.
So I'm not sure how great the camera is going to pick this up, but this is literally the best rainbow I've ever seen in my life. So we're trying to get back to our campsite, but we just can't get there because we have to keep stopping because the views are just amazing everywhere. That's the lake we were at before where we hiked around it. That's Two Jack Lake. This is a different view. So our campsite here in Banff includes free firewood. Pretty awesome. We haven't seen that before. Although we may or may not have paid for a fire permit as part of our camping fees, so I guess essentially we did pay for it. But it's nice that we just have an unlimited supply and we don't have to worry about like not having enough like at the last place. Dinner number 2 in Banff and number whatever 5 altogether, something like that. Maybe one of the best ones.
Yeah.
We got some, what kind of steak is it?
I think it was ribeye.
Ribeye. It was like pretty expensive, 40 Canadian bucks for
for
three fillets. But yeah.
You cooked it right on that fire there.
On
Amazing.
the wet fire that Chris started in the rain.
Impressive.
So you can out camp us.
Yeah, we forgot knives, so we're just biting into it, but it's delicious.
So this entire trip, we haven't had to deal with any crowds at all. It's been pretty nice. We're now in Lake Louise, and that is now finished. There is a lot of crowds here, a lot of people. We were we drove up to the lake even though it said parking was full. We couldn't make a U-turn. We waited in traffic just to get turned around and sent back. Now we're at this overflow parking lot a few kilometers down the highway. We're gonna get on these school bus shuttles to go up to the lake. We have finally made it to Lake Louise. We're very excited. Always wanted to be here. Didn't realize it was gonna involve so much to get here. We haven't dealt with any crowds at all on the whole trip, but this place is crowded. But it is pretty awesome looking. So
see why it is crowded.
It's really cold here, and it was really hot in the bus we took here, so we're just like fumbling with all of our layers, and it's been very frustrating, but I think our mood is starting to lighten up now that we're here. We are on Lake Louise, and we're all very happy, except for Tegan. There's the chateau over there. We're not even going to attempt to find out how much it costs to stay there. So Tegan got fussy. We had to drop her and Kristen off. Now it's just me and Chris, and we were just both discussing that this is definitely the nicest lake we've been on, not to mention the nicest place we've ever canoed. It's a steep $125 an hour Canadian for this, but at least it's worth it, right?
Hell yeah, no regrets.
So we've probably reached the furthest point that we're going to be in the lake. It's time to turn around. We only have an hour on this thing. And yeah, the closer you get to this end of the lake, the better it gets.
Yeah, one thing I will say is it feels very warm with the sun, but the breeze is very cool. So you kind of go back and forth from being hot to cold to hot again.
For the 3 minutes that we were out on the water with Tegan, she must have kicked off her shoe. I knew it fell in the water, I just didn't see it. Like, if she had her shoe on and then all of a sudden she didn't, so I was hoping it was in the boat, but when I got out of the boat it wasn't there. Thankfully somebody found it and they returned it.
They found it in the water.
It's soaking wet, it's freezing cold.
Then you come back and then you
Which is unbelievable to me. Tegan is very picky. You got it! Tegan is very picky and fickle. I've combined them. She's very fickle and picky with her shoes, so these are the only ones we can really get on her, and it would have been terrible if we couldn't have. It just would have been bad.
We would have had to go shopping.
Yeah, and it would have been like $70 for a pair of shoes for something that she's gonna outgrow in like a week.
So yeah, if you're at Lake Louise, don't get scared away by the high cost of canoeing. Just do it, it's worth it. Alright.
We're in day 2 in Lake Louise right now. We're about to go on a gondola. Chris just went up an open shared gondola. We're going to do an enclosed one like they just did. It's safer with Tegan. Yesterday's little boat tour didn't go too well, so we don't want her falling out. But yeah, hopefully we can see some nice views. Tegan's very upset that Uncle Chris just separated from us. We can see Lake Louise from here. That's where we were yesterday. This does not suck.
And we just read that this glacier above Lake Louise is called Victoria Glacier, and that peak there is 11,000 feet.
Yeah, so on my way up, I saw a bear grazing on some grass in the open field. It caught me by surprise, but by the time I got my camera, I was pretty far away. But they said this area is very prevalent of bears, one of the most in the area, I think.
So we just got to Moraine Lake. We got lucky, we drove past the road and it was actually open for the first time in a couple of days. It's very crowded here, as is Lake Louise. Very limited parking. We were going to take the shuttle tomorrow and have to wait a couple of hours in line, so we're glad to not have to do that anymore. We just drove up ourselves, got an easy parking spot, and I really don't think I've ever seen water this color before. It kind of looks like Windex. I'm not sure if the camera is gonna pick that up or not, but it is really nice looking. So we're hiking along the Lakeshore Trail, and just look at the peaks of the water we're getting through the trees here. Problem with water of this color that looks so amazing is that it's always so damn cold around it. Not to mention the temperature of the water itself. So we're glad that we canoed yesterday at Lake Louise, because the canoeing here is closed because of inclement weather. We're guessing because of the wind. There's no other kind of inclement weather. So we've been walking a little while along the Lakeshore Trail, and we think we're about halfway through, but it's kind of hard to tell. We were wrong about that with Lake Louise yesterday. And behind me you can see the 10 peaks, or at least some of the 10 peaks. I haven't actually counted them, but they're all over 10,000 feet tall.
What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I think it's completely unreal.
Yeah.
The water is absolutely green and blue. The camera definitely won't do it justice.
No, I don't think it will. And in fact, I mean, it's hard to tell right now because the sun is in my eye, but this might be the prettiest water I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Wouldn't feel like the prettiest. It's cold.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've now reached the end of Moraine Lake. Nice little river here with some rapids draining into the lake. And perhaps not the best backdrop compared to the other direction, but the lighting is much better on this side right now. And still a great view, of course.
Beautiful.
Down at the other end there is the rock pile. And you can climb up that and get a little bit of an aerial view. We might do that when we hike back that way.
You can see people up there now.
And we found a perfectly shaped face in snow up here. Kind of weird.
We were just appreciating this view once more, and I just, commented that it's kind of hard to leave a view like this knowing you won't see it again from this perspective, because it's that awe-inspiring where you just kind of want to bottle it up and take it with you.
I actually think this is maybe the best view we've seen on the trip.
Yeah?
I don't know, I mean...
No, I think I'd have to agree. Oh,
like out of Glacier or Banff.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Here's the rock pile that we're about to climb. Not sure if we can get Tegan up there or not, but we're gonna try it. And this girl over here is really excited to risk everything for her Instagram. So Chris went up the front side of the rock pile that we saw before from the lake. It's pretty steep and not really a trail, just boulders that you kind of climb up. We found the official trail on the back side of the rock pile. So we're taking this route, and we're hoping it to be easy enough to get Tegan all the way up there. So we made it to the top of the rock pile. Just having a little break right now. We haven't really looked out over the lake yet because of the view from the other side.
No.
Tegan's munching on some elk jerky.
Tegan, this pretty?
No.
No, it's not pretty. So this is the view from the other side, and it is just absolutely stunning.
Justin and Kristen took the trail up to the top up here. I actually went over those logs like those people are, and there's many different avenues you can take. It's pretty easy, but you do need to get on all fours at certain points. Probably took me about like 6 or 7 minutes, and get this glorious view at the top, so worth it. It's fairly easy to get down, many different avenues, like I said before. Wonder if Justin and Kristen would be doing this if they didn't have Tegan with them. I think they would.
All right, so we are just finishing up with our trip to Moraine Lake, and I gotta say, I think it's a trip highlight for me. It's pretty amazing. We've never seen water like that. The views were great. Best views of the trip for me.
Yeah, and since this trip started, us going up the gondola to see Lake Louise from the distance, and it's like definitely been a great day visually.
Yeah, for sure.
My belly is empty, but my eyes are definitely full right now.
I loved it. It was beautiful. It was really cold, so you have to bundle up. But it was gorgeous, absolutely breathtaking. The watercolor, magnificent. Can't ask for more, you really can't. Trip highlight, absolutely, 1010%. We're at our campsite at Lake Louise, and we headed on over to the river where they have an electric fence here to keep out the wildlife, aka the Tegans and grizzlies. But probably only grizzlies. Alright, don't touch anything now.
And here's the river itself. Just like all other water in this area, it looks amazing. Can definitely drink straight from this. And today's a special day because I have now changed my underwear, my socks, and my t-shirt all within 24 hours. Chris had to go and shower and show the rest of us up, but it's
Freshly showered.
you're banished from this campsite.
Yeah, get out of here, we're all dirty.
Go to all the posh people in the resort. It's just too damn cold to shower.
Well, now it is, yeah.
Yeah, we did get here early when it was kind of warm enough for you two. And then I was thinking about it, and as I was thinking about it, I was like, the temperature's dropping too fast. I can't be bothered with showering, and then...
I will
going
add
back
that
out.
this is only my third shower on this trip, so I
Yeah,
haven't been
you're not that
overdoing
posh,
it.
yeah.
Nothing like marinating some steaks in a dog bowl.
In blood.
They were the cheapest bowls. We have no shame.
And we only tried to get one, but there was another one stuck to it, so we ended up taking two.
Yeah, we stole a dog bowl from Walmart.
Sorry, Walmart.
Accidentally.
Here's a shot of dinner for tonight. We had steaks the other night and they were pretty awesome, so
Doing it again.
decided for another night. Last night in Banff, no more hiking or sightseeing or scenery viewing in Banff. So, the official consensus, Banff versus Glacier.
All right. Well, I don't know if it's just recent memory, but like honestly, I think Banff is just something else. Just the scenery overall. I mean, you might get bigger, more vast mountainscapes in Glacier, but like I think it just doesn't stop in Banff. Where every time you drive, you know, besides going to the Sun Road, that road was just unbelievable, and that's mainly where we hung out. But yeah, I mean, Banff I think takes the cake for me right now. But ask me again in a month, I may have a different answer. It was that close.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if I could really pick between Banff and Glacier, to be honest. I've always heard about Banff. I've always wanted to come here. Glacier, I guess it took me a while before I at least heard of it, and I was looking more forward to Banff when we got here. Although doing the research for Glacier, also looking forward to that. And now that we've been to both, I'm not sure if I have a preference. And I was just saying, I think that speaks volumes for both places because they're just both amazing. I would say that Moraine Lake, though, was my highlight from the whole trip so far. That was just amazing. One of the best lake I've ever been to. One of the coolest sights I've ever seen. Unexpected because, you know, you always hear about Lake Louise, and Moraine Lake kind of takes a backseat, at least in recognition to that, but geez, how great was it? Yeah, I don't know, go to both. So now that we have no more sightseeing left in Banff, Glacier versus Banff, go.
That's a tough one to compare, it really is. I would say I think I like Glacier more.
Oh.
Banff is, although we are tourists and people are doing, what we're doing, it's just really overcrowded, and the shuttle system is understandably so. Like they say, it's for environmental purposes that they can only leave every so often, but it's a little frustrating when you want to get going and when you have a kid too. So I would say I like Glacier more just because you can go to the actual trailhead and start your hike whenever you want to. I do love the lakes here though. I thought the lakes here were far prettier than at Glacier. But I just like the feeling of having a place to yourself. And you have that more so at Glacier than you do at Banff. But as far as sights and scenery, I think I like Banff more.
So it's our final morning in Banff. We are packing up camp. and heading off to the Icefields Parkway. So we're becoming experts at packing the car. When we first got it, we were sure that it wasn't going to be good enough for us and we would need to upgrade. The rental car company didn't have any upgrades, so we had to make do. It was rough the first time we packed the car in Calgary, but now it's pretty painless. Of course, it doesn't go exactly the same way every time, but you know you can do it.
She's posing with her baby. You're so cute.
Daddy, Daddy.
And there's Daddy, yeah. And there's Uncle Chris. And Mama! And Tegan!